Greetings, good people, and welcome. All right, you guys. So, Nicki Minaj, she is not holding back, okay? So, she took to social media to unleash some fiery responses after Us Weekly, page 6, they published a report suggesting that she could lose her $20 million LA mansion due to a judgment related to her and her husband, Kenneth Petty's alleged assault case. Okay. So we are going to get into this article. We are going to break down the court documents, all that good stuff. Okay. As you are rolling in, please pay your admission fee. And that is by hitting the like button. Drop down in the comments, share your thoughts, share the video, subscribe, all that good YouTube jazz. Okay. How you doing? All right. So first, what I want to do is I want to break down this article. I don't know if most of you have read the article in its entirety. But here it is, okay? So this is Us Weekly. Page 6 also posted an article, but Us Weekly is claiming this as their exclusive, okay? And it reads, Nicki Minaj's $20 million LA home at risk of being seized over massive debt owed. Exclusive. So Nicki Minaj's LA mansion is at risk of being sold off due to a massive unpaid debt she and her husband, Kenneth Petty, have refused to pay, Us Weekly can exclusively report. On October 6th, Thomas Wiedenmuller, okay, who was awarded over $500,000 from Minaj, 42, and Petty, 47, in a lawsuit over alleged assault by Petty in 2019. He asked the court to order the rapper's home to be sold to help him collect on the money owed. So Wiedenmuller, who was a security guard at one of Minaj's shows in Germany, said that Minaj owns an 11-bedroom, 16-bathroom, 11,820 square foot home in Hidden Hills, California. Damn, all in her backyard. Okay. So the entertainer purchased the home for 19.5 million in December 2022, and this is according to property records, which are public. Right, in his motion, Wiedenmuller explained that he believes the home is worth enough to pay off the mortgage, liens, and his debt. So he wants his money. He's been waiting for a very long time. And in the court documents, he stated that he basically, in a nutshell, he's tired of waiting. He shouldn't have to wait this long. Okay. He pointed out that Minaj has a $13+ million mortgage lien on the home from Bank of America. That's what is in the court documents, and $722,151 in homestead exemption. Together, just under $14 million. Okay. These statements are from the court documents, which I did read. And we're going to get into that. Anyway, Wiedenmuller told the court the property's current fair market value is appraised at $20 million, yielding approximately $6 million in equity beyond the lien and exemption. The amount is more than sufficient to satisfy the judgment, plus accrued interest and enforcement costs. He said the law does not require him, this is important, to exhaust other collection efforts before asking for a debtor's home to be sold off. Quote, here, there is no doubt, that the sale of the dwelling will satisfy the entire judgment with millions to spare, end quote. This is what he said. This is interesting because when I first saw this, I didn't read the article right away, but I just saw this headline and saw what people were saying and read some summaries and stuff like that. And I said to myself, why not go after her? Because it was a default judgment, which is why he won, but we'll get into that. I asked myself, why not garnish her bank account? Or why not have any wages, if she's getting any royalties or any sort of checks, I don't know, whatever, why not have those garnished? That's usually what people will do if there is a judgment against someone, whether they're being sued for whatever money owed, credit card, whatever. If someone's suing them, they usually garnish their wages, or they can go into their bank account, right? But apparently there's no law against him going for her house to be sold. And mind you, this is a motion that he is presenting with his legal representation to the court to order her house to be sold in order to pay him. Okay, so it's a motion. So Wiedenmuller's lawyer noted, although it is regrettable that the extraordinary measure of forcing the sale of Minaj's dwelling is required, that result is entirely the product of her intransigence in not making payment. Minaj is a global music superstar estimated to have a net worth of anywhere between $150 to $190 million and is reportedly the highest paid female rap star in the world. There is little doubt that she is highly capable of paying the judgment in full, and yet she has refused to do so despite multiple written requests for payment and levies served upon several of her suspected creditors. And in the court documents, it states that her creditors either state that they don't have any billing information or they just didn't respond as well. So this is interesting because one would ask, well, girl, if you had a default judgment against you, why not just pay? Like, why not just pay the money? So their argument is Nicki Minaj has the money, okay? Wiedenmuller's representation is basically saying, look, she's estimated at almost $200 million. She got money. She's the highest paid female rap star in the game. So she definitely is more than capable of paying this debt. So Wiedenmuller said that he should not have to wait any longer to receive his money. Okay. In his lawsuit, he claimed that there was drama while working at Minaj's show on March 22nd, 2019. He said a fan broke the security barrier and was able to get on stage next to Minaj. The rapper allegedly became upset with the security team working the event. Okay, Wiedenmuller claims Minaj was yelling at a female security guard when he tried to diffuse the conversation. He alleged that Minaj was upset by his attempt and told Petty about the encounter. Lord, she done went to the husband, child. He claimed that he was instructed to go to Minaj's dressing room. Once he entered, Wiedenmuller claimed that Minaj was there with Petty and 2 security guards. He claimed that Minaj started yelling at him, which led to Petty, without warning, striking him in the face. He says that he was stunned and disoriented. He said that he rushed to the hospital where doctors determined that he had serious injuries and needed surgery to fix his jaw. Minaj and Petty failed to respond to the lawsuit, which led to the court entering default judgments against the duo in March 2024. Okay, so that is the USWeekly article. All right, so now let's get into Twitter. So Nicki Minaj responds to these articles that have been posted and circulating online, and she posted to her Twitter. She says, I have evidence that this was given to a business manager who never told me. My lawyers and business manager, old and new, are aware. Let's see if they'll speak up or if I'll have to call them out by name. The same business manager stole from me many times. Then he was accused of taking a woman up out of here and leaving her in a hotel room. Not sure of the outcome of the case, though. Oh, my gosh. I believe they later said that she OD'd after he left the hotel room around 3 a.m. or something like that. So Nicki, oh my God. Now here's my question. Your so-called business managers and lawyers, whoever it is, your business manager, were you aware of this scandal that you're alleging prior to him being your business manager? If so, then that's just questionable on your part to be associated with somebody like that, right? But your business manager and your lawyer, this information was handed to them and they never told you. In the court documents that I read, it states that Wiedenmuller made several attempts to alert her that basically your house could be up for sale to pay off this debt. And I'm assuming that they have proof, but in the court document, it shows that she was mailed documents. They have the address listed. Kenneth Petty's dwelling is listed as the house that Nicki Minaj owns in Hidden Hills out there in California. So when the mail was sent, the Wiedenmuller, Thomas, the security guard, is stating that nothing was returned. So documents have been sent out. So I know some people were saying that that Nicki Minaj wasn't served. She wasn't properly served, or she wasn't served at all. But the courts are saying you nor your husband showed up for court. So this was a default, or you didn't respond. So this was a default judgment. All right. So on page 6's social media page, Nicki Minaj went under the comments. It's pretty much a snippet of what I just read, but this is in page 6 version. And Nicki Minaj says, she responds, Desiree Perez, you mad? Aha. Conspiracy, false imprisonment, civil rights violations, RocNation CEO, aha. And then another comment was the laughing emoji. I want to get into some of these comments. This is Live Bites on Instagram. They posted this. Someone said, what do RocNation got to do with her husband beating up a security guard and getting sued? They never paid him. And I'm Cali. I guess they're saying that you're in Cali. I'm Cali. He can go after the house. It's that simple. No conspiracy here. Right. So by law, he can actually submit a request to the court. Hey, she could sell this house and pay me my money. Okay. What's up? Let's see what other comments are saying. If Onika broke, then whoop-de-doo. She won't be the first big artist drug addicted, allegedly, that this has happened to, and won't be the last. It literally goes hand in hand, like be for real, for real. Somebody said RocNation, and then there's snowflake emojis. You guys know what that means. Someone said, get them, queen. Chess, not checkers. They ain't effing with the queen. Hate her, don't like her, who cares? She's not crazy. That's what they want the public to believe. They are messing with her. She married a man for protection, and they can't get to her. A lot of people don't know this, but they popped up her dressing room a few years back when she was on set for a video. They have been after her for a while. Which was that the video where was that her and Kanye West and somebody else? Someone responded, lies. And finally, the truth. Who marrying a man for protection? Not the big heavy on it. She need to stop talking slick, because she the first one calling the law and tagging Cheeto 45. This is the comment that I saw that I wanted to read. Watching y'all in these comments being straight up delusional is scary and sad. Nicki uses Cheeto 47 tactics, and her base believes everything she says. This story isn't new. Last year when Rolling Stone and Us Weekly, posted, what did she say? Now it's RocNation using page 6. Oh, okay. Lady, you did not show up to court for the case, and the judge ruled in his favor. Your husband broke that man's jaw in Germany. If that's not what happened, then why not show up to court? This is how we know she is unwell. What megastar don't show up to court for something like that? Y'all overgrown tales really showing how you don't think critically. All she have to do is tell y'all something and y'all believe it. It's coming up again because she owed that man money. He had to have multiple surgeries to fix his jaw. You see, TMZ didn't say anything because they know this is BS. Now, hold up now. TMZ has posted some BS stuff and gotten away with it. So, I don't know. I wonder, what is it that people think is BS? I mean, there was a civil case. There's court documents showing that, Nicki and her husband were sued. They didn't show up to court. They didn't respond to the notices. And the judge, it was a default judgment. So, I mean, and the man has been waiting for his money and has been, making attempts to collect his money. He has proof that he had to have multiple surgeries. He has proof that he went to the hospital. So, I mean, what is it that's untrue per se? Now, I'm not saying that the media can't lie and spin what they need to spin. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know. And sometimes Nicki don't always say stuff outright. You know what I mean? She'll kind of speak around certain things. Because sometimes you don't want to let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, which I totally get. I get that tactic 100%. And she probably has to be very careful with what she says as well. But somebody broke this man's jaw. You know what I'm saying? And he obviously has proof. So what's tea? What's tea with her lawyer and her business manager? Like, why wasn't this handled? What's going on? I don't know. So this is back to Nicki Minaj's Twitter page. So she has been pretty much firing off a few tweets. So we're going to get into them. This one is the most recent one. And it reads, okay, I'm not going to put out the album anymore. No more music. Hope you're happy at SC. Now, SC is Sean Carter. That is JayZ's Twitter page. So she's been adding Desiree, RocNation, JayZ, page 6. She's going at everybody. Okay. Another one is they came begging the queen for a tour and album. I'm assuming she's talking about RocNation. And I said, nope. Wanted to patch it up. They needed help from the queen and the Barbs. I called the Barbs on the secret Barb phone, and it was a resounding no. Just like the casino. I see what you did there. Then she added JayZ's Twitter page. Let me find out you gonna let Desiree take the fall alone. I don't blame you. That ugly hoe B gonna snitch anyway. You might as well beat her to it. Conspiracy, false imprisonment, civil rights violations, run. All right, then there's another tweet about Desiree. She calls RocNation broke nation. How did you go so effing broke? Like, who in their right effing mind would sign to you? No successful tours, but vibes and bots. Yikes. This was about the credit card fraud, which I'm going to get into a members only video for that. And then she also goes on to say, Dear Us Weekly and page 6, you just effed yourselves. And it's like, this is exhausting. Okay, let's go back to this. Yeah. Someone said, I will never trust a newspaper or blog who allows fabricated stories and ruins their own reliable reputation just because they are on someone's payroll. Losses all credibility and respect. Okay, she said, Dear Us Weekly and page 6, you just F yourself. On TikTok, Desiree Perez, you got bigger fish to fry. Buki, conspiracy, false imprisonment, civil rights violation. Oh, rhymes with RocNation. Y'all suck. Page 6, Us Weekly, laughing my A off. Nothing you say will stop what's to come. Cry harder. I think you're going to jail, Desiree. Casino. Nope. That's a play on JayZ losing his bid to put a casino in the middle of Manhattan. All right, so we're off that. Now, this is courtesy of Document Tings. Okay, shout out to Document Tings. This is on Twitter, and this is just pretty much a breakdown of the court documents. And I did pull up the court documents, and I was reading over it. So all the juicy stuff starts on page 5, in my opinion. But I just realized that Document Tings just pretty much broke this down. So this is what I wanted to get into, attempts to collect. After securing the judgment, Wiedenmuller filed an abstract of judgment with the Los Angeles County Recorder's Office on July 19, 2024, creating a lien against Minaj's property. A writ of execution was issued on September 13, 2024, and later renewed on April 11, 2025. Despite these efforts, the motion states Minaj has not paid any portion of the judgment. The plaintiff's legal team reportedly served levies on 7 of Minaj's suspected creditors, none of which resulted in funds being recovered. This is what I want to see. Attempts to collect background of the case. We already know about the case, the filing. All right, let me get into this here. This is the creditor, the judgment creditor. The judgment creditor is Wiedenmuller, okay, the security guard. So the security guard stipulates that both judgment debtors are the Pettys, that both Pettys reside at the dwellings as evidenced by the fact that Petty is registered as living at the dwelling on the California Megan's Law website. And a property deed search performed through confirmed that the dwelling is owned by Nicki Minaj. So basically, they confirm that this is where KennethPetty resides, and Nicki Minaj is the owner of the property. Further up in the document, it shows that Nicki Minaj owns the property, and her husband. His name is not, they acknowledge Nicki Minaj as a married woman, but his name doesn't appear to be on the house. Okay. So, but it is his dwelling because he's registered as he has to do at this location. So it's proof that that is where he dwells, where he resides. That's his home. Okay. So it says here two separate letters on line 7. Two separate letters were sent to each of the Pettys. Remember, judgment debtors are the Pettys at the street address for the dwelling, and neither has been returned to the sender, meaning the mail didn't come back as like they don't reside here or this is not their address. Okay. So because Nicki Minaj's address where she resides with her husband is public information, because again he has to register. All right. So the equity that Minaj holds in the dwelling substantially exceeds both the mortgage and the applicable homestead exemption. I think we got into that on the in the article. So this is just pretty much talking about like what the house is valued at, so on and so forth. So basically, and this is pretty much their argument. So basically, they have made attempts to let her know, hey, we gonna move to try to get your house sold to pay this debt. You owe this debt. You know, there's a default judgment. You owe. Why you ain't paying? So I don't know. Let's see. Judgment contract for court. There was something else that I wanted to read here. And I shared this. If you're not following Documentings on Twitter, you can go directly to their page, or I shared Documentings post, and you can click on the link, and it'll pull up this document here. Okay. Something else that I wanted to read. The creditor must provide. So basically, these are all the steps that they pretty much took, the legal steps that they took to try to collect their money. So basically, what it's not just, but it is a motion to have the house sold so that this man can get his money, pretty much in a nutshell. Now they do have a hearing set for, this is at the top of the page, for November. Okay, let me go to the top. That's the very, very top. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all. Right. So their next hearing is November 20th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Okay. And this is going to be in Los Angeles, California. So that's going to be 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. So we shall see what's going to transpire, you know. So Wiedenmuller has basically presented his motion before the court. Like, look, I've been waiting for this money. You know what I'm saying? We have made attempts to contact them. Okay. I'm pretty sure that they have documentation that they or proof that they've made attempts to reach out to the Pettys, okay, to the defendants, the judgment debtors, and default judgment was granted to Wiedenmuller. He's trying to collect his money, and again, I'm sure he has proof that he sustained injuries. Here's the thing: this is not a good look. It's not a good look for either Nicki Minaj or her husband. Okay. If you engage in illegal activities, and you should have expected a lawsuit, first of all. Maybe they brushed it off. Maybe they didn't take it seriously because it's a civil lawsuit. But yeah, in the state of California, Wiedenmuller can definitely move the way that he's moving. This is exactly why there's going to be a hearing for his motion to be presented before the court and for a judge to hear his argument. So what is going to become of this? Who knows? Do I think that Nicki Minaj knew about this? Yes. Do I think that she might have brushed it off? Yeah. And it's like, girl, pay this man. So maybe you don't want to pay because it's like an admission of guilt. I don't know. What's your counteraction? You didn't show up to court. I'm pretty sure that you were made aware of this. Why did you brush this off? You can't say that you didn't get the mail because you're going to have to prove that you didn't get this information. This is just not a good look. It's absolutely positively not a good look. Nicki Minaj is too long in the tooth, as Wendy Williams would say. Been in the game too long, too grown for this type of messy foolishness to happen. And why the hell are your lawyers not on top? Are you not paying them? What kind of legal team you got? Why weren't the lawyers on top of this? Why didn't the lawyers handle this? What's going on? As an entertainer, a famous person, a wealthy person, you have to expect these type of things, especially if you allegedly put your hands on this man. For sure. You gotta have you gotta have a way to clean these things up. What's going on with your legal team? What's going on with your manager? You can blame the manager all you want, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this is your responsibility, girl. Like, what's tea? Maybe Nicki Minaj just don't give a F. And truthfully, if she would just come out and say that, I respect it. What do you guys think? This is just all a mess. I don't even know what to think. I just handle your business, man. Handle your business. Not to mention, you can't go around trying to rough everybody up because you don't like what they said. Like, what is this? Girl, you gonna mess around and you trying to send your husband back to jail? I don't understand. And I don't think it's for me to understand. I don't get it. Like, maybe because Nicki Minaj has felt that she's been done so wrong in the industry, now it's like payback for everybody. I'm gonna go get my husband. Like, girl, that's not the smartest thing to do, especially when you have money to lose. You have a lot to lose. I can see if you moving like somebody who ain't got nothing to lose. Do you not have a lot to lose? Look at all you've gained and acquired throughout the years. Your reputation, girl, your brand, your money that you worked for. I don't get it. Well, I want y'all to drop down in the comments and tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, as far as this being fake, the legal documents are there, okay? The legal documents are there. Something happened. You may not like it. You may feel that the media is trying to quote unquote spin a narrative. Us Weekly they grabbed the information directly from the court documents, legal court documents. So what's going on? I guess we are going to have to wait until the 20th of November to see how this pans out. I don't know what's going to become of this, but Nicki's got to move like somebody who has something to lose. Why she isn't, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people blame her husband. They feel like he's going to be her downfall. I don't know either. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the other way around. Who knows? We shall see. All right, y'all. I am signing off. All right, but I will be back soon, and hopefully you will too. All right. I love you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.